about 4 years ago, my wife died, and it kind of, I fell out with God and life and the world in general, I guess. I just got to where I didn't care about nothing. So, but I've since made my peace with him, found out how stupid that was. But I thought he'd taken her too soon. We were together for 38 years. Well, 42 years, married for 38 years.
We are about to watch the parole hearing of a 70-year-old man who received his first felony 4 years ago for the distribution of narcotics. He breaks down and talks about the loss of his wife, the love of his life, who he had been with for over 40 years. Will the parole board empathize with him? Will they try to do the right thing for this first felony offender? Or will they keep him locked up? With that, let's jump in.
Sir, I find that you're a first felony offender, that you're currently serving an 8-year sentence for possession with the intent to distribute meth. It's a revocation from a previous probation, maybe? No. You're on a split sentence. So you had a parole eligibility date of January 14th, 2025. Good time date of 11/2/2025 and a full-time date of 1/15/2031. Well, Mr. Peavy, why are you here and why should we consider releasing you on parole today?
Well, I'm not sure how to answer that. I want to. Well, I'd like to get back out and get help my son. We had a little business going, car to work, remodeling and stuff like that. And when I get out, I plan on getting my driver's license and insurance for my truck and navigator and be mobile so I can help them on the job. You know, and the grandkids work with us too. And that gives them a little incentive, a little money, and helps keep them out of trouble, keeps me busy. About 4 years ago, my wife died, and it kind of, I fell out with God and life and the world in general, I guess. I just got to where I didn't care about nothing. So, but I've since made my peace with him, found out how stupid that was. But I thought he'd taken her too soon. We were together for 38 years. Well, 42 years, married for 38 years. I was pretty well lost without her. And, I guess I learned to deal with it.
Okay. Board, I may not have an updated. Have you completed pre-release?
And just so he's enrolled in pre-release.
Yeah, I'm missing class.
Huh?
I'm supposed to have that class today, this morning, but
He's currently in pre-release.
Okay. This case is Mr. Barra. Mr. Barra?
Ms. Ledoux, I'm sorry. Our record says here that he's been granted his CTRP for pre-release. That means he's completed it.
He has completed. Okay, so so why don't you go ahead and read off what he's had, because I may not have an updated. Tell me what he's had.
He's completed cage your age. He's completed free release. And I think there was one more. He finished eval.
just want to miss this morning. Okay.
He's in free release and victims awareness. He's completed free release, cage your age, and he's in victims awareness.
Mr. Barra?
What have you done since you've been in jail to address your drug problem?
When I realized I was, like I said, I was mad at the world and that misery loves company. So the friends that I started associating with, they was into the drug scene. I got mixed in with that. But, I don't feel like I want to get back into that anymore. That's some of the past. And I like to wash my hands of that. I didn't really enjoy it. It was just something to do.
Where do you plan on living if we would release you?
In my home, I have my own home.
Got a job lined up?
Drug disability insurance, disability, but I plan on helping my son. I have all the corporate tools and everything. I plan on helping him. We do little remodeling jobs, you know. I'm the gopher boy. Additions, decks, driveways, whatever somebody needs, the friends and family.
All right, that's all the questions I have.
Mr. Tiller?
I have no questions.
So, Mr. Peavy, if you were given the opportunity to have some substance abuse treatment, do you think that would be helpful?
Willing to try anything. Anything that'll help me, I'm willing to take it. Yes, ma'am.
Well, because I noticed your drug issues go back to 77. You've had a few marijuana charges, some drinking charges, and I mean, living in Grant Parish, it's probably part of your culture. Everybody pops the top on the weekend, so.
You're right. Yes, ma'am.
I just was curious about that.
I'm not living in Grant Parish anymore. I'm in Rapides Parish now.
That's probably worse. Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Barra, I think we're prepared to vote, Mr. Barra.
Well, Mr. Peavy, I think the problem is drugs. I think that's your whole problem. So I'm gonna vote to grant your release on the condition that you complete the Steve Hall program prior to it. That's an intensive drug treatment program. And that once you complete the program, then you can be released.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Tiller.
Just to deny with law enforcement, the sheriff and the DA have strong opposition. And I think you probably really need to get some more drug treatment programs before you move on.
And Mr. Peavy, my vote is to grant to a DOC long-term substance abuse program. I think there they can address moral recognition, but today your request for parole has been denied. The time is now 11:57, and we are signing off at Rayburn unless, Pat, is there anything else that we need to deal with?
No, ma'am, thank you.
Thank you very much.
I got to tell you, I am pissed off. I am just pissed off. This is what happens when you have board members that shouldn't be on the board, and I'm talking about Tillis. What he did makes no sense. None. He's not paying attention. For those of you who have been paying attention, who have been watching these parole hearings, Tillis is making blunder after blunder after blunder. from every direction. Here is a blunder that just messed with taxpayer money, with his life, with everything, because it makes no sense. His good time date is in 2025. You have two parole board members that say, we want to send you to Steve Hoyle DOC program that will help you with your substance abuse. It takes about 9 months. Then Till says, no, I'm going to deny you because you need substance abuse programs. So what he just did was say, okay, you're going to spend another 12 months in prison. So do you get how that makes no sense? The two parole board members over there who know what they're doing, they're like, you're going to go to Steve Hoyle. You'll get your substance abuse help. Then you'll get out. Maybe you'll get out, 3 months earlier than your full term date or your good time date. I'm sorry. But no, he denies him. And for it doesn't make any sense. This stuff pisses me off. It really does. He what also pisses me off is you have this man, he's arrested when he's 68. He gets an 8-year sentence for distribution of meth. It was possession with intent to distribute. Now, there must be context. We would assume that there's details that we don't have, sometime. But remember, they said he was a first felony offender. So it could be he was doing dealing, and then a judge gave him a break, and then he violated because she's talking about maybe probation. So the judge said, but really 8 years? He was 68 when he was arrested. That's a long time. Some people might argue come on. And here's the interesting thing. So Richard shared a post with me. And I can't share it on YouTube because of whatever, their guidelines or whatnot. But I'll read to you the comments on this post about his arrest. If you want to get even more of a painted picture about who he is, I'm going to read it in order. I'm not going to skip any comments. This man just lost his wife yesterday. He had the memorial service. That was terrible. And if you remember, he's talking about how he lost his wife, right? So he got arrested a day after he lost his wife doing this deal. Doesn't that tell you something? Him and his wife went to the same church as us years ago. Blessings. Prayers for you, Robert, and your family. Deepest condolences for the loss of your wife. Can't make money on Social Security. Got to have some income. So then we get a someone says no excuse. So sad. I pray for him to find some help and some peace in his life. Prayers for every addict and their families. And then my computer's glitching. But those seem to be comments by people that seem to have known him, that there's proof that he had just lost his life. He's not just his wife at that time. This is the first thing that comes out of his mouth when he's up for parole. It's like, just, no. So if you harm a child, then you get a year, you get 6 months, you get 4 years. I mean, the hearing we just saw 5-year deal for what he did to his stepdaughter for years. Here is a man who gets his first felony at the age of 69 after his wife dies. A day after his wife, he has a memorial for his wife, and throw the book at him. 8 years. And then you mess up at parole and deny him. This stuff pisses me off. It really does. And this is part of why we do this, because it's insane. I think it is. What do you think? On a side note, man, that is a big man. When I first saw him, Richard put in the notes, he should be on a Harley, not on a walker. So I went to look, and I'm like, yeah, that man should be on a Harley. And, you don't see any violent offenses in his jacket. He's a giant. There you go. That's the justice system for you. And with that, I'll let you go.
About 4 years ago, my wife died, and I fell out with God and life and the world in general, I guess. I just got to where I didn't care about nothing. So But I've since made my peace with him, found out how stupid that was. But I thought he'd taken her too soon. We were together for 38 years. Well, 42 years, married for 38 years.